Khubor ka Batisi TV Lawan Rashapi da ka Orange Nissan Loom So Po near Fire Brigade Shillong Ringkat bat ka Victorium ka Dukan ki Tiar Kilan Met ka Babhatam Hakador ka Babit Hannong Thumai Old Beat House Shillong
Rakhe ka Women's Day da ka health checkup Ringkat bat ka Woodland Hospital Shillong
Ka Kunhun Menteri Jongka Sorkar Jilla ha ka Santrik Unail Ber Anajar Arpawai kala Munjur ya ka Jingterwa ban Wanra ya ka Jingpen Bet Thamai ha ka Meghalaya Loka Yukta Act Anajar Khatsao da ka Wanra ya ka Meghalaya Loka Yukta Amendment Bill Anajar Arpawai ya ka ni ka bill ansara ha ka dorbar mangtengka ka bakhatwai sngi ka balasdang menta ka sngi bat ka bansakut pat hadu ka khat khandai terik menta ubnai Menteri Kesorkar Jilla u James P.K. Sangma abai keren bat kirat pathai khubor uluyatho baka jingwan ra ya ka jingpen bet thamai ha ka Meghalaya Loka Yukta Act Arajar Khatsao kalong ban penkup ya ka bor laitlo ya ka Sorkar Jilla ban thung tang uwei ne khambon ngut kidkhat ha ka Loka Yukta katkum ka jinghe upot usam jong ka Jilla nangta ka jingtian bishar ya ki mukot duma bat ka jing ai jingmut ha ka bayadai bat ka jing penlut pisa kat kum ka jing don jong kidkhot ha ka Loka Yukta.
This amendment bill is being taken up and the reason for that is to confer discretion to on the government to constitute either a single member or multi-member Lokayukta having regard to the size of the state, number of cases and financial implication in maintaining a multi-member Lokayukta. Basically the amendment which is being brought into the act is amendment of section 3. In section 3 in clause A of subsection 2 of this is a very small thing. I'll go to the main thing. So in clause 2, in clause A of subsection 2 of section 3, after the semicolon, the word "and" shall be substituted by the word "or." So basically, subsection 2 of clause B mentions section of 2 of clause A mentions a chairperson who is or has been a Chief Justice of the High Court or a judge of the High Court or an eminent person who fulfills the eligibility specified in clause B of subsection 3, and B states such number of members not exceeding 4 out of whom 50% shall be judicial members. So here in clause A of subsection 2 after the semicolon which says subsection 3 the word "or" will replace "and." Okay, and there are other amendments, namely clause B of subsection 2, such number of members not exceeding 4 out of whom 50% shall be judicial members, now will read as such number of members not exceeding 4 instead 4, that's it, full stop, not 4, and it just says "or." Okay, so these are the few changes that are being proposed in subsection 3. Then the other change is after clause B of subsection 2 following clause C. So it only had A and B subclauses. Now C is being inserted, which shall basically say a chairperson and such number of members not exceeding 4. After subsection 4 of clause 3 of section 3, the following subsection 5 will be inserted, namely 5 will mention here. Now it only has 4. The fifth clause will mention Notwithstanding anything contained in the provision of this Act or any other law for the time being enforced, the Lok Ayukta shall be deemed to be constituted upon the appointment of a chairman or a member.
Nalor kini ka kinhon menteri kala menjuru ya ka jingterwa ban penbet thamai ha ka Meghalaya Sales of Petroleum and Petroleum Products including Motor Spirit Taxation Act Assam Act number 9 of 956 as adapted and amended by Meghalaya ban pentrekam ya ka the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy arajar arpuway ya ka ba an sa pentrekam pura nado ka shitrik ubna yayong arajar arpuway.
As you all know, that the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy was notified on the 5th of February 2020 and has come into force from 1st of March 2021 and has come into effect from 1st of March to 1st of April and will come into effect from 1st of April 2021. So it was decided to levy an additional cess of 10 paise per litre of petrol and diesel sold within the state. Now presently sales surcharge stands at 2%, which is levied on tax payable on sale of petrol and diesel under the provisions of section 3A of the Meghalaya Sales of Petroleum and Petroleum Products including Motor Spirit Taxation Act. To implement the proposal in the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy 2021 for funding of incentives, it is proposed to substitute the Section 3A surcharge on sale by a new provision, namely pollution surcharge on sale, to provide for the levy of pollution surcharge on sale of petrol and diesel, empowering the state government to prescribe the rate of pollution surcharge on sale by way of notification effective from 1st of April 2021. To coincide with the effective date of the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy 2021. 3A revision of rates as inserted in clause 2 of para 3 of the Meghalaya Taxation Amendment Act, Laws Amendment Act 1998. It is also proposed to insert new section 44A in the Meghalaya Sales of Petroleum and Petroleum Products including Motor Spirits Taxation Act to save the actions taken or orders issued in exercise of the powers conferred under section 3 of the Act. Therefore, this proposal was brought to the cabinet for its approval and this was discussed and this agenda was passed by the cabinet today. See, what happened is that there was a sales surcharge which was being charged at 2%, which was being levied on the tax payable on sale of petrol and diesel. That was there in existence. Then along with that, with the Meghalaya Electric Vehicle Policy, there was an additional 2% that was to be levied in the form of pollution surcharge on sale. So basically what we're doing is that the pollution surcharge on sale is going to replace the sales surcharge of 2%. So there will be no difference since the old 2% will be sort of subsumed by the pollution surcharge on sale. So there will be no increase.
Nang ta ka jingpun bait thamai ha ka education code ka bayadai bat ki nong trai ha ki jaka pule balayo jingyarap na ka sarkar jilla bat kunthubru halor ka Meghalaya State Health Policy ha ka bakatanat ka koi ka khya jong ka sarkar jilla kan sa pentrai kam no shen ye ka State Health Policy ha ka jilla baro ka way.
Existing rules regarding conduct and discipline of the employees of aided educational institution allows teachers of aided educational institutions to offer himself or herself as a candidate for election to the legislative bodies. In fact, Rule 6 and 7 of the aforesaid rule reads as follows. Number 6, that is, no employee shall offer himself as a candidate for election to a legislative body or for holding office of any political organization except in accordance with provision of Rule 7, that provided that an employee may seek election as an independent candidate of a panchayat with the previous approval of the managing committee, but he shall not be entitled to accept any office thereunder except in accordance with the provisions of Rule 7. Rule 7 states, any employee desiring to seek election to legislative body or to hold office of any political organization or local body shall be on compulsory leave without pay from the date of filing his nomination till the end of the next academic session or till the termination of the terms of his office to which he may be elected, as the case may be. Such employee, however, shall not be allowed to retain a lien on his part for a period exceeding 5 years. So this matter was placed before the cabinet on the 4th of November 2020. This was deferred since we had to seek the legal opinion of the learned AG. And the opinion of the learned Advocate General was obtained, and the proposed amendment to Rules 6 and 7 of the Education Code may be made by the government, and the same is permitted by the provisions of the Meghalaya School Education Act 1981, and it is in compliance with the provisions of the Constitution of India. Further, no amendment is required in the schedule to prevention of disqualification members of the Legislative Assembly of Meghalaya Act 1972 for achieving the said purpose. So this was the opinion given by the learned AG, and this was placed for the amendment to Rules 6 and 7 of the Education Code, and this matter was was discussed in the cabinet and was passed. As you all know that the process of the state health policy has been going on. A lot of discussions, suggestions, views of stakeholders, consultations have taken place, and finally we have the health department has been able to come up with a state health policy, and this was discussed. A presentation was given by the health department, and we are very, very optimistic about the state health policy, and this has also been passed by the state cabinet. So the policy will set a broad framework for providing essential public health services and functions, including powers to respond to public health emergencies, principally through the state and local public health agencies at the village, block and district levels, in collaboration with other public and private healthcare providers, including through the cooperation and formal collaborations between the center and the state. Then the policy aims to put special focus on high maternal mortality rate that we have, the infant mortality rate, birth spacing, tuberculosis, non-communicable diseases, and address the high prevalence of cancer. Then also focus on the importance of early childhood by launching the Early Childhood Development Mission, which will address issues of malnutrition, micronutrient deficiencies, and stunting. The policy also aims to ensure adequate investment in health and to increase health expenditure. Will also address government and private area investment and aims to expand the services of Mega Health Insurance Scheme to cover preventive health care, and to also so the policy will adopt techniques from the State Capability Enhancement Project, which uses frameworks such as problem-driven, iterative adaptation approach, adaptive leadership building, and encourage artificial intelligence-enabled decision making. So it's not just preventive healthcare that we are looking at. We are also looking at not just what do you call it? Not curative, but preventive, healthcare, and so this is a very, very broad health policy, and this will be shared with all of you, I'm very sure, very soon, as we have put it up in the Gazette. The health policy aims to address government and private area investment, and aims to expand the services of the MHIS to cover preventive health care. So basically to cover preventive health care. Discussed many issues, not just the load shedding issue, and I told him that the timing of this regulation is very unfortunate, because right now children are in the process of preparing for their exams. It's a very crucial time for students, It's also very difficult for the state government. It's the year ending, so coupled with the sort of financial stress that we are facing because of COVID, it's very difficult for a state government to manage resources at this moment. And we also are aware that the government of India is, from the point of view of their generating companies, central government PSUs that are there, they also must be facing a lot of problems and issues regarding recovery of their dues. So we also are sympathetic to that, but this is something that needs to be taken into consideration, that even state governments are facing similar problems. It's not just the central government PSUs, but also state governments. So Honorable Minister assured that we will find out a solution and we'll work out a solution, and we're in the process right now.